Because you live in a brick home doesn't mean that your home is maintenance free. James Anderson from Approved Home Improvements is here to tell us why this is the perfect time to start thinking about having some work done on your masonry. Let's talk about protecting and preserving it. And that's really important. We hear a lot about, oh, maintenance-free siding, maintenance-free this, maintenance-free that. It's really not maintenance-free. It gets dirty. You have to clean it. That's maintenance on some of those things. But the brick is even more important because while it does last, it can last forever, it does need some preventative maintenance.
Preventative maintenance, your brick will last, your brick will outlast, at least 100 years if you preserve it.
Mm-hmm.
Without doing anything to the mortar joints and with mortar replace, there's buildings 200 or 300 years old with the original bricks they're built with.
Yep. So what should we as homeowners be looking for?
The first sign as a homeowner, I tell everybody, for one, I tell people don't get the ladder out and go up on a chimney to look at it because that ends up worse than good most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But
and you don't know what you're looking at anyway.
And they really don't. And if they do, they're probably going to use them. So let's say they do go up there and find something wrong. They're probably going to use the wrong material to fix it. That's going to end up causing more of a problem when you go to do the repair. But from the ground, the average homeowner can look up. If your chimney looks discolored, dark, or stained, if there's water getting in, that is where the water is coming out of the chimney from the inside out. That's why it's so dark. So if you look at your chimney and you look at the front of your house looks new compared to your chimney, you have an issue with your chimney.
And these issues can come from the winter freezing. We've talked about this before. Could be critters, could be a combination of things, exposure to the sun. All of these things compound and add up to produce this damage.
It's all that. It's the heat, the thawing, everything. Your home's heated, your chimney's on the outside. Part of your chimney's not heated, part of your chimney is heated, so you have a lot of condensation going on inside there. The biggest thing I'll tell people, that's the gutters that were plugged up. That chimney had to be redone. And next week we're going to get a bunch of new pictures. We've been out in the field with all this rain, and we had a lot of chimney damage. But the biggest thing I can tell that's really been catching people here lately, a lot of homes are starting to change hands. They're buying and selling homes.
Right.
The inspectors are coming in and catching these chimneys, and it's done right before closing. Been several houses that haven't got closed on because they can't get to them in time to get them done because they're catching them 1 or 2 days when the final inspection is getting done, and there's no way to get out there that fast. So I tell the people, if you're buying or selling a home, you need to get your chimney cleaned and inspected because you can't just get out there today or tomorrow sometimes.
Make that a part of the inspection process early on and address it immediately. Make a decision and address it because this really is one of those pay me now or pay me later deals because if you have to pay later, it's going to get real expensive.
I'm going to tell you exactly what happened yesterday. I went out on a job Monday. They were closing on this Friday. They caused some minor tuck pointing in the fireplace that needed to be done. We looked at it, inspected the chimney. It had a flue fire. The guy had no idea it had been there for 30 years. Every liner in it was busted. And when we got in it to fix it, they had before he had bought it, had closed up a stove in the other room, and there's a hole 12 inches wide with framing 3 inches from where his fire was in his chimney. And he thought he was safe because it was in a brick structure.
And you show us these photos, and they're pretty dramatic, but a lot of this stuff is very subtle, and we wouldn't know it looking at it, but you would, and especially with get the cap off and look inside.
Some of those things, you look at that from the ground, you wouldn't think you think that was a dirty spot on your chimney.
Tell us quickly about the deal.
Well, right now we've been doing tons of it. We're selling 1 story $100, 2 stories $200, and a whole home for $350. And when we do that, we inspect the whole chimney before we do it, so we're not going to come out and take your money and seal something that's not going to be effective.
So that's the price for sealing?
We seal the whole chimney, 1-story chimney, the whole thing for $100. That's why it's crazy to have all these repairs for thousands of dollars.
Just do it. All right. Thank you, James.
Thank
Always
you,
good
Ken.
to see you. For more information on Approved Home Improvements, to find out about all the services they offer inside and outside of your home, 314. Write this down. Are you writing this down? 314-780-6080.